9 to 5 and hustle culture are the same. They are just two sides of the same coin, and before you ask yourself, what the fuck? Let me explain. You see, both are living a life they don't even enjoy most of the time, just so that hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, they have more money and can therefore enjoy themselves at a later date. And hey, you may think this way of living is reasonable. Life is not always easy, but also not always hard, and time will give you the opportunity to experience both. But if you were forced to read a book, when would it be more meaningful? If you skim through all the chapters just so that you can finish it as fast as possible? Or if you read through every chapter in depth so that when it's over, you wish you could start all over again. I'm using this example because it's similar to how we treat the passage of time during difficult periods of life. You see, hustle culture resents 9 to 5 culture and vice versa, but no matter what category you fall into, you're gonna end up resenting yourself the most, hoping that the majority of time goes by faster, as much as you want to admit it or not. And in case you're wondering who I am, I'm Vic. I'm somebody who's professionally hated myself for 3 years, telling myself that I have to work my ass off while not allowing myself to enjoy the present moment just so that I can be rich and successful in the future. And believe me, I got to learn a whole fuck ton about the negative aspects of delayed gratification and the negligence of oneself in the present moment. You see, a little bit of misery is good for everyone, but prolonged doses of it elicits the complete opposite. And that fear of having to be in misery for a prolonged period of time is probably why you neither want to work a 9 to 5 nor want to be a part of hustle culture. But this doesn't have to be the case. You see, what if there was a way that could reframe the way how we live life so that we can appreciate everything, not only the good, but also the bad? And to explain that, I'm going to share a personal story. I used to strongly oppose the idea of enjoying the present. I thought focusing on the future was more important because that's what would eventually become the present. But the older I get, the more I realize it does not have to be the one or the other. Looking back on 3 years of misery, at least mentally, I noticed that not appreciating the literal passage of time destroyed me from the inside.
And that's a sacrifice.
Mainly because I became so dissociated from myself that when unexpected or unfortunate events happened, it was no longer there for me. And this feeling of being abandoned by yourself, even though you are yourself, it's just nasty, it's disgusting, it's brutal. But I know that I'm not the only one who's been through this. So if you're somebody who's gone through a similar experience, feel free to talk about it in the comments. But anyway, you might now ask, okay Vic, where do you want to go with this? Well, all of this leads to self-love. So cultivating a perception of reality where you are the main character, where you are the person who you are most proud of. And the key here lies in being proud of a version of yourself today that is able to become better tomorrow. This is literally the way how you grow and achieve your goals without having to hate yourself and become miserable in the process. And how does all of this relate to the examples from the beginning? You see, hustle culture is always waiting for fulfillment or goals to be met, but those goals never arrive in the way how you imagine them. I mean, I made a whole YouTube video on this. I'll link it up here somewhere. It talks about exactly this issue in detail, so if you're interested, feel free to watch it. But let's not just talk about hustle culture. The average corporate lifestyle is the same. Just think about it. Working a 9 to 5, hoping 5 days of the week can pass just so you can enjoy the remaining 2, even though it should be the other way around? And yes, I know, escaping the cycle is not always possible. There are people who just simply lack the opportunities or the environment that allows them to be in a position that is more enjoyable. And I respect every one of these people, because they're literally doing something that they do not want to do and are keeping this planet running, keeping the whole system running, and not even complaining about it. But I do know that there are a lot of people in these spaces that do know they can do better, but deliberately decide not to. And the only thing I can say then is, life is already so fucking short, why do you deliberately want to make it shorter? Do you hate yourself? I can't think of any more reasonable explanation. But anyway, I digress. You see, as far as the workspace goes, these two are completely different examples, perhaps even the opposite, yet they share the same foundational error. Both neglect the appreciation of the present moment, and both shift their focus and happiness towards a day in the future. Like, of course life won't feel good if you treat the majority of it like it's something to get over with. You see, I strongly believe that the majority of people in these two spaces don't even give themselves the chance to dive into what they are right now and what they can learn about that person. Can you remember the example I used in the beginning? The one about the book and its chapters? Well, here's another one. Imagine watching a movie and you just really want to figure out how the end plays out, so you just think about it the whole time. By doing this, you miss all the special hints and details throughout the movie simply because your focus is not shifted towards them. And just think about it. Who appreciates the ending more? The person who picked up all the clues throughout the movie, or the person who desperately waited for the ending to happen? This is not about movies, by the way. I know that people who are watching this are probably now thinking, but you're generalizing too much. Not everybody is like this. Not everybody is miserable in the spaces that you talked about. I know. Just as much as there are people who love working their 9 to 5, there are people in hustle culture who love themselves while being in the grind. But exceptions don't disprove the rule. So what is the final message of this video? Because as you see, this is not supposed to be a huge comparison, but more about how to cultivate a lifestyle or a way of seeing life that allows you to enjoy it for the majority of the time, even though it's not easy for the majority of time. The message is, dream big, have ambition, but don't forget to enjoy the present moment. Love its uncertainty, love its boredom, dive deep into it as much as you can. This is what will make your goals more impactful and rewarding once they're achieved. I mean, just think about the book and movie example I mentioned in this video. But don't just enjoy the process. Also enjoy who you are as a person right now, even if it's not ideal. Like, allow yourself to learn as much as possible from it before it's too late. And you might ask, why? Well, because you're never going to be this version of yourself again.
Bruh.